You're watching the Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, replacing missing teeth with dental implants. According to my first guest, he says nobody should be wearing a loose-fitting denture. He is Mississippi's go-to implant dentist. He's been doing it since 1988. Dr. Greggory Tharp. Dr. Tharp, welcome to the program.
Very nice to be here. Thank you.
Now, you brought a stack of photos.
I did.
So we'll
indeed.
try to get through as many of those as possible. Now, for those of people that don't know your practice, like who's the typical dental implant patient that you see?
We receive several. You got to remember, I'm a specialist, and so I get a lot of referrals from dentists that have seen these patients, and they don't have answers for them. These patients, these patients come in either wearing dentures that aren't fitting properly, or they have infections in their mouth. Their teeth are mobile, teeth are broken, teeth are missing, constantly sore, and they're looking for answers and solutions. So we get that class of people that get referred by other dentists.
Yeah.
Then we've got the online searchers that have done their research, Google search, and they come in, some of them with a lot of questions that come in on the front end. Just to get scheduled, they have to have some questions answered.
Yeah.
The denture patients that we see a lot of, they just don't know, and it's beyond that. They don't even know that they don't know.
So with these denture wearers, I think you told me that on the day of the procedure, they could literally walk in with no teeth, walk out with upper and lower teeth, full arches of teeth that don't come out.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
This is true.
Is that rare?
No, it's true at this point in time, and has been in the recent past, but for years that was not a true statement. And it's still not a true statement in a lot of offices, but in our office, that's an absolutely true statement.
So you, correct me if I'm wrong, the way dental implant dentistry is typically done is you go to one doctor that does the surgery, another doctor that puts the teeth on top, and then you get them maintained elsewhere. You do all three parts. Is that why you do it so quickly?
Yes, it's because we've taken the time to get the training and the experience and the setup to be able to deliver that, and that's key. Somebody that doesn't have much experience doing this is not going to have all of the aforementioned things, and they're not going to be able to provide that service. But traditionally and historically, this started out as a team approach effort. You had the guy doing the surgery, you had another guy that was doing the restorations, you had lab techs involved that would come in and try to do, back in the ancient times when we would convert dentures, some people still do that, that would come in, and then you'd have an off-site lab that would then fabricate the final bridge. And all this took months and even years. Now it's day of, or in dual arch cases, sometimes the next morning.
So you digitally print teeth, make the teeth in the other room.
Correct.
Is that right?
These are not conversions. These are unique, custom designed replacement teeth designed specifically for your situation based upon a lot of meticulous measurements and digital scans, which has really innovated what we can do. And so they're custom fit, and beyond that, they're practically perfect, within 90-95% of where we want to be then. One or two tweaks, maybe another reprint, and we've got it nailed. So it's not only become quicker and better and more efficient, it's got the patients where in so few visits they can have this goal, and we always have what's called the big reveal if we do it day of or the next day, and we get family in there. We get any
where they look at their teeth in the mirror for the first time.
Right, but they're doing that in front of their loved ones.
Okay.
And they can share in that, and we record it.
Is that right?
And so the big reveal, and it's emotional.
Do they get choked up sometimes when they see themselves?
There's
And the family even gets
lots
choked
of tears
up?
of joy. Oh yeah, because they've participated. Spouses have lived this with them. Sometimes it's mothers or fathers or somebody that's helping them achieve this. They're there. Their spouses are there. So yeah, it's a very emotional, and touching, and rewarding thing. I mean, who wouldn't love getting up and to go do that every day?
Yeah.
I mean, we feel very fortunate to be able to be in an occupation where we can do that. It's rare.
I think you told me that they all have regrets, meaning, why didn't I do this sooner? That's not an exaggeration.
I personally, when they get through, they walk, we're done, and this is another thing that we do, that maybe some of these corporate entities are driven by production. And what we see a lot of them do is when they finish getting these teeth in on these patients, their procedure's done, and it's like, see you, good luck maintaining it. You know, go back home where they may or may not know how to maintain these things properly. But with us, we've got a team of hygienists that are trained, and we're trained, and
so everything's right there.
We not only design, do the surgery, deliver them, custom fit them, we maintain them after. We have to live with our baby, what we created, and we're in it with them. So it's a shared experience, and patients pick up on that, and that's worked really well for us.
Okay, good. Now you brought photos. Let's take a look what we're looking at over here.
Yeah. So here's a patient, Vladimir.
Okay.
Vladimir showed up to our office. He was one of the ones that he Google searched and found us. He knew the type practice we had. Okay. So he was not doctor referred. And so we started talking to him. Vladimir's in the technology business, so he told me later he immediately saw the type of technology we had, and he felt like he was in the right place. Okay. So we went through the normal procedure where we get all our information, history. I can look at his teeth and tell you his history was he got cavities, they broke down. He had root canals, they broke down. Teeth were extracted. He had bridges done. Somewhere along the line, he developed infections around his gums. Started losing teeth. Now he's wearing a combination of crowns on infected teeth, trying to support a partial denture that comes in and out, and he's miserable. He's overclosed. He can't eat. He's got bad breath. He wants to get that part of his life back and get the confidence back. He's in front of people at his work and what he's called to do, and he's self-conscious about that.
So his option would have been a upper and lower denture?
That option, I'm sure, was offered to him. He mentioned that it was, and he adamantly did not. That wasn't part of the equation for him.
No way he was going to have it.
That wasn't happening.
Okay.
That wasn't happening.
So what did you do?
So we finished it up. We set up the date. We lined up the surgery after we got all our the records and measurements that we needed. I asked him if he would like a quick tour of the office so he could see where we 3D print these things, because I knew he would
where
dig
you
on
3D
that.
print the teeth, the actual
Correct.
teeth.
We've got a separate room for that. We've got a big nice lab. We've got a technician in there that's doing all these things, designing. They print the teeth. He sees how all that works on other patients that have they're a little further ahead in the process than him. Even where we mill out the final zirconium teeth, he wanted to see all that. So, okay. We talked financing with him, but he's done very well. That wasn't, really a consideration for him. He knew what he wanted. Once I established the value and the worth, which he already sort of knew that anyway, but after that procedure, he definitely knew it.
So what did you do for him?
Well, we did just what we told him we were going to do. It's a big decision to decide the few remaining diseased, infected teeth I've got are going to have to come out. Okay. It plays with your mind, all right? It's sort of a stigma. Now I don't have any teeth. My dad died with no teeth. He wore dentures. He knew he wasn't going there, but it's still a psychological hurdle you've got to,
Is that right?
buy
okay.
into.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, it comes in and we get these teeth out and we go to that the next day. And look at the pictures. This
looks good.
I had to coach him to smile that much.
On the before photo.
Yeah. This guy, after photo, needed no coaching. And it's even bigger now. And that's the typical trend. They got to learn to smile again, Randy.
You said he wanted those front teeth a little longer. Yeah.
So we have a normal formula we feel as far as golden proportions and how much of the face we want it to fill out, how much the size of the edges we want to show, because it's customized and people have different preferences. And so you got to at least cater and design these things to reach the goal they want. And one of his was to have his two front central incisor teeth a little longer than perhaps we normally would. It ideally should match the curve of the lower lip. And you can see his upper incisors just a little bit long. It's a family trait. Okay. He had that growing up. When all his dental work was done, he lost it. The gap was never there until recently. That came from the periodontal infections, caused the lack of support and the teeth splayed out. He did not want the spaces, but he did want that length back. So he got it. And he's very happy. He sings our praises now.
Now, he looks younger.
Definitely.
For sure. More handsome. I'm not trying to side with you, right? Because I always felt like, especially when we talked on the phone, like it's a bit of an exaggeration, but it really does. The guy looks like a different guy.
Oh, and there's others. I mean, that's a youthful look.
Seems so painful, by the way.
People say that. And I think Vladimir said that. How much, is it going to be painful? And I said, well, Vladimir, one of the reasons you came here was because your teeth hurt, right? He goes, yeah. I said, well, this is a solution to ending the pain, if that's your goal. But curiously, when it's done, we're 2 or 3 days after the surgery. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was a little sore.
So they're numbed up.
They're numbed up.
They're sedated, so they don't feel anything. You say they don't even remember getting it done sometimes.
No, that's the beauty of the sedation. You want amnesia. That's a 4.5, 5 hour deal that you just soon be somewhere else. And so they don't remember anything about that. They don't remember it, and it's typically that day no pain because we use extended action anesthetic, so there's no pain. Then they transition over into any pain pills if they need it. Most of them will just take Tylenol or Advil.
Is that right?
But they've got the other if they need it. The second day, most of them say they're still surprised by how little pain. They're expecting more, and they don't have near as much as they thought. The third day, they tend, because of the swelling kicks in, you tend to get a little more soreness. But there's a distinction between soreness and in pain.
Yeah, okay.
And everything is controlled. The Tylenol, Advil, or sometimes might need something a little stronger.
So you have more photos. What else are we looking at?
Okay, we do have more photos. So this is Tim. Tim was a referral from a dentist. So Tim came in. He had transitioned right in the middle of his procedure his implant treatment being done at another office where they were going to offer him snap-in teeth, and he read about it online, decided he wanted teeth that didn't come in and out. So he contacted us and we got him in.
The snap-in dentures, you're not a fan of those. Patients don't like them? What?
I've done a lot of them over the years. I was a fan when that was about some of the best things we could do for them, but that hadn't been true for years.
Okay.
And now that we've got in-house lab support for getting fixed teeth on these patients that doesn't come in and out, it's actually a little more cost efficient for us to design these fixed bridges than to use an outside lab to mill these bars, and it's just a lot better prosthesis. Patient satisfaction is so much higher with
That's
these
what
fixed
people
bridges.
want, right? Teeth that
That's
don't
what they
come
want.
out.
I mean, anybody would want that. So what he was concerned about, I've spent this money on these implants that can we repurpose them?
Okay.
So we came in, did the workup, did all our scans and measurements, and it turned out, in fact, we could use those implants.
It's nice.
And so we just incorporated a few more that we placed, and we were able to go from snap-in teeth to what you see here.
Wow.
So it made a big difference for Tim. Big difference. He looks years younger. His comment he made to me was, he said, I'm tired of biting into a hamburger with a sourdough bun and leaving my teeth in the burger when I come out. So that had happened to him. So that affected his quality of life. And going out to eat and cooking, he's a big outdoor cook. He likes to do that sort of thing. And so this allowed him to do it. He can taste his food. He can taste the coffee. He knows how hot the coffee is before it hits the back of his throat.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he's a wine drinker, but if he drank wine, he could taste it. He can certainly taste the beer if that's what he wants to drink. And so Tim is also singing our praises. He's diligent about his home care. And this is a guy that really wasn't. But now he's made this investment in himself, and he's bought into it, and Tim never misses an appointment.
And so you just take care of them like regular teeth?
Yes. Well, with the separate adjunct of getting a water pick to clean those things. They're very effective at cleaning them. But you come in twice a year, get them clean, get the round x-ray that tells us the bone levels on the implants about every 2 years, and, just enjoy life.
So just like regular teeth, I mean, these, if you take care of them, they're going to last for as long as you live.
That's an absolute true statement.
Is that right?
If you take care of them and hold your end up, and we monitor and maintain, just as long as you live.
Now, you're a local Mississippi guy. I guess you said the hospital you were born in is 3 miles away.
That's correct.
Do you ever see high school friends that you've treated and worked with?
Yes, more than a few. I have. So this guy, I played sports with in high school. He was a phenomenal athlete, star football player, star basketball player. I caught up with him, probably 25 years after that. And by this time, Randy had gone through some situation where he had lost his teeth because of infection. He had the gum disease. Had some other things happen in his life. He'd lost his wife, unfortunately, but he'd met somebody new. And she was a physician. And now the rest of the story comes from her. We talked about getting upper and lower teeth for Randy that don't come in and out. His wife chimed in. Not his wife at that time, the lady that was soon to be his wife. And she said, I already fallen in love with the guy before I realized he didn't have teeth. She goes, I can't have that.
Okay.
So she was the one that, she was a strong proponent for him doing this. And he had actually gotten started in the process over in Birmingham. And he did research, found out that his old high school football player classmate was doing this. So he comes to see me.
Okay.
And so he sees all the equipment we got, and he's willing to make that 4-hour drive. So Randy's got upper and lower teeth now. And he's married, he's happy, she's happy.
Do you, on the consult,
Yeah.
they're telling you their hard luck story
Yeah.
about how bad their teeth have been, right? They think they're going to end up in a denture. Do you ever get excited going, they have no idea how good this is going to be?
Well, and I tell them that. I said, look, I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage on you, Randy, because I know how this is going to end. You don't, but I do. And you don't realize what a big difference this is going to make. And he said, I'm sure, he says, what I know is what I'm not enjoying now, and I want to get rid of that. So if you can do that, then I'm sold. And he was another one, just get my function back. I want to be able to eat. But you ought to see him. He's a ham on Facebook. Selfies, you know. He's retired now, and they're enjoying life. Riding motorcycles cross country, eats whatever he wants. So
Good.
that was a good story, and I was glad to help him out.
How old can you be to do this? Like, what's the upper age? I should ask, what's your oldest patient that did this?
The oldest one I've ever done this type procedure on was 93.
Really?
Yep.
Why would a 93-year-old want to do this?
I'll tell you exactly why. She told me that she wanted to make sure she could take care of herself because her job was to take care of all the old people in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And she's 93.
But if they're 93, are the implants more likely to fall out?
No, absolutely not. That's
Okay.
more reflective of the patient's health. If they're healthy and they can walk into the clinic, we're going to be able to help them. And I get people that come in at 70, 75 years old and say, you know, I want this, I'm just too old, I'll never get my money's worth out of it, and that kind of thing. But that's not true. I mean, what's it worth to be able to get that part of your life back?
Now, most people, statistically, 70-year-old and above, are on 4 medications. Can you be on a type 2 diabetes medication, maybe even high blood pressure or blood thinners? Can you do that and still get this procedure done?
Yes, if everything's controlled, and we do a strict policy. If we check all these, we do med consults. I need to see A1Cs scores. I need to see vitamin D levels because all those have to do with how bone's going to heal. If everything's controlled, then we do it. And in office, we do it.
So most of your patients are on medications when they do the procedure?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
You have another photo here. I'll rush you a little bit because I know you have a stack.
Yeah, this is Claudia. Claudia's story was...
Looks like a nice smile.
It was a denture.
Oh.
She didn't want a denture. She would have done it sooner, but Claudia was taking care of her elderly mother and pretty much devoted all that. She got kids raised up, and she's one of those type that's a giver. So she's always taking care of everybody else. And she got to the point where she wanted to take care of Claudia.
Okay.
So Claudia comes to see us. Now she got the personality. She smiled a lot anyway, but you know, it was a denture. She was showing a denture when she smiled. She really wanted the function. She wanted to be able to eat.
Okay.
And get that part of her life back. So we explained the process to her, and this is the result we got. And I personally think it took years off. I think she looks a lot younger. She smiles better. She eats whatever she wants. She comes in, she's happy. She gets her teeth cleaned regularly. She doesn't miss an appointment. And she sings our praises also. You know, she's one of our better referral sources. We get a lot of patient referrals, and which is gratifying. You know, it means you're doing something right.
Are you one of the most experienced guys in all of Mississippi? I asked you that. Are you?
Yes.
You've been doing it since 1988.
I have, and I'm very experienced in the way. I'm glad we don't do it anymore.
Okay.
And
you are double board certified, I guess, in prosthodontist. That's a specialty.
American Board of Prosthodontics.
And also on the American Board of
American
Implant
Board
Dentistry.
of Oral Implantology.
Okay.
That's correct.
Does it cost more to go to an experienced guy like you?
No, actually, you wind up saving money. It's been my experience. In the early 90s, we didn't have all these protocols we've got now, and it was a lot more expensive to do this type thing in the early 90s than it is now.
Okay.
It's just like, how much was the bag phone when it first came out? Now they've gotten a lot. Technology has become better and cheaper, And not cheap in the sense that we don't use good materials or we're cutting corners. Cheap in the fact that we've gotten smarter about doing it, and we've got better materials, and we've got research that backs up everything we're doing.
Okay.
And the net result is we're able to significantly reduce the cost from what it used to be.
Okay. Tell me this. I mean, if you're wearing a denture for 20 years, isn't it true you can't do this? You don't have enough bone?
Absolutely not.
That's not true.
No.
Okay.
We have no way of knowing that. Well, it's not true in any case now, because they've come up with newer design implants. And some patients that years prior we would have to do some extensive bone grafting, which requires sometimes 8 to 9 months to wait. Now we've got remote implants where you can immediately load those. So that statement is absolutely not true. Now, in a lot of offices, it would be true. They've been told that, and they come there saying, I guess I'm just going to get you to make a really nice denture for me because I've been told I don't have enough bone. I said, well, let's if you'll allow me, we're going to make this three-dimensional X-ray, and let's see. And within 2 minutes, I'm shaking my head. And they go, she goes, what? I go, you do have plenty of bone. We can absolutely do this, and we go from there. So most times that's not a true statement.
Now let's talk about the cost for a moment. I guess dental insurance, even the best dental insurance, doesn't really cover it, only a small portion. Medicare, Medicaid doesn't cover it at all, really. But you say some people are financing this.
Yeah, more than a few. We talk about that early on. We do a global fee on these procedures.
What does that mean?
Well, if you go to the hospital, you get charged every item, and it adds up to X amount. And so if we added up all these procedures we're doing and the insurance code and what gets paid on them, it's well beyond what would be considered affordable. So we do a global fee. And what I like about that is we're no longer tied into considering money as what we're going to do. By that, I mean, I look in there and say, all right, 4 implants would be great, but if I could break that span up and add a 5 and a 6 implant, it's better. Does not increase the fee. If I need
so just one fee,
one
doctor?
fee, whatever. This includes everything. You come in, we diagnose, we plan the surgery, the temporary bridges, teeth, replacement teeth, the permanent replacement teeth. It's all in that fee.
Okay.
And that works good for us.
That's nice.
And when they leave and you've demonstrated and explained to them the value of this, based upon what they'll tell you what they're missing in life if you just listen. And it could be anything. And then you address those in your presentation and show them on your patient ed consult software, and then show them how we're going to do it on them. They understand the value. I think that's why some offices don't get good conversion rates, from people that are interested to people that do it. They don't stress the value of what they're getting because they don't relate it to what the stories they've just heard.
Do you show them what they're going to look like ahead of time with their new teeth?
We can, and let me tell you what's really facilitated it. You've got all kind of softwares out there that you can just, Photoshop teeth in there, but that's what we don't do that. So we've got the facial scanners now and the pre-planning designs that we can do, and this is just phenomenal to me that we can do this. You can design and show yourself too, exactly where these teeth are going to go and how it's going to look in their face.
Is that right?
In a natural smile, an exaggerated smile, a repose. How it's typically done is you'll have a lab technician do a mock-up on models, and you have to look at photos of the patient, and then you have to extrapolate in your mind, what it's going to look like with the lips there, this kind of thing. With the facial scans, we don't do that.
So not a lot of dentists have these facial scanners like you have, is that right?
No.
Okay.
Not a lot at all.
Okay, good.
I predict they will, but as of present, they don't.
Is this the future of dentistry, whether it's 20 years or whatever, that dentures as we know them today will not exist? They'll all be attached to something.
Well, I think that's a fair statement. I do.
Is that right?
And the way we do it with these facial scanner technologies is not just for implant dentures, but it's somebody might come in and just need veneers or crowns. And if you could show them on their face what that's going to look like, you get sent,
that's nice.
They send you a screenshot of it, and you get the patient's cell phone number, and you text and say, what do you think?
That's nice.
Here's what we got. And then, I get a lot of requests for that, and that's something that we're starting to do quite a bit.
And we have time for one more photo.
Okay. All right, so this is Danielle.
Okay.
Danielle was moderately young. She's in her 40s. She's got infected teeth, gum disease. She's got cavities. She's got teeth that are needing to be extracted. And she knows, and she's been told, she's facing life with an upper denture.
Is that her smile, or you kind of had to force her to smile?
This is a smile where we forced it to the extent that I needed to see her highest lip length when she smiled, because that has a direct effect on how we design these replacement teeth.
Okay.
So that's called the Duchenne smile. And I tell them, this is going to be, you'll never probably smile like this.
Okay.
But I need to know it for my purposes.
Got it. Okay.
And so we saw the changes that could be made. We sent the design. We had her kind of pre-approved. We printed the provisional bridge day of.
So she would have been in a denture.
Yeah, so her option would have been an upper denture. So what we did was clean up the teeth on the bottom. We were able to save those.
Okay.
She did not ever have to go through the aspect of trying to wear an upper denture. So the same day we got these teeth out.
Wow.
Implants in, and she leaves with teeth that look like that. She's showing more teeth when she smiles, which she needed. We filled up the face with these teeth. Wider, bigger smile equates to a more youthful appearance. Now, I did not have to ask her to smile big, so this is now her smile.
That's very nice.
She's happy to smile for you now.
So is it more women or men?
I would say a slight edge to women, but not much of one.
Okay.
Equal amount.
We should mention your partner, Dr. Klaus.
Right.
You say he's one of the best implant dentists you've worked with.
That's an absolutely true statement. So for a brief period of time, when Keith comes in, he's a mechanical engineer by training, so he's got that background. He reverse engineers everything I do. So now he's basically got a prosthodontic residency while working with me. So now then he's gone, and I would say we've gone from peers to where in this field, as far as the design and surgical protocols, I make sure to treatment plan with Keith, because he's heads and away one of the best implant dentists that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them out of state, in state. I consider him a resource, and yeah, I think it's a dream team. We got experience and a track record, and then he's quickly establishing his own reputation for doing this kind of thing.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. So final message, the two groups of patients. One's wearing a denture, and they're skeptical, and then the other person has really bad teeth, gums, bleeding gums, loose teeth. They've heard what you have to say, but for whatever reason they're skeptical. We got about 20 seconds left. What do you say to them? Just come in for a consult?
Yeah, come in for a consult, see what we can do.
Okay.
A lot of times we'll have them contact a patient that has agreed to ahead of time, that's been through this.
Really? Oh, that's
good. On both ends, the ones that have had teeth and then got them out, and the ones that came in with dentures and had them out. Talk to these patients and see what they say about the experience. And
wow,
that really helps convince them they're making the right decision.
Okay, well, Dr. Tharp, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Good stuff. If they want to make an appointment, just call your office or go to the website. What do you prefer?
Either or.
Okay.
The advantage of going to the website is you can fill out all the health history stuff ahead of time, and we'll have that much more time to diagnose.
Dr. Tharp, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Good stuff.
Thank you, sir.
You've been watching The Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. For now, I wish you good health.